I will say I will get a lot of things wrong, so don't come at me, please. Could Super Mario 64 be a Freemason initiation? A Twitter user by the name of Owen Broadcast would tweet Super Mario 64 is a Freemasonic and Illuminist digital ritual, with a picture on December 18th, 2018. This would be the post where he would reply to himself over and over and over again, while giving supposed evidence to support his claim. With an attached image below in his second tweet, he would write, "The game begins in this Masonic hall. There is the checkerboard floor, symbolic of the world of polarized opposites, the physical world on which your ritual is based. There is also a solar disk, red carpet, and the hall is 3 layers." With 2 attached images, his third tweet would read as follows. The coins in this game are actually pentacles. They are coins from tarot and occult symbolism. In this game, you play the role of a Mercury-type character traveling into the earth and between the realms. With another 2 attached images, his fourth tweet would be, the first map is a trail that winds up a giant mountain with obstacles along the way. This is an extremely occult image found, for example, in Rosicrucism. At the top of this mountain is usually some regal symbol that embodies divinity. An image of the boss in this first level with one sentence typed out reads, "At the top of this mountain is a king, whom Mario battles and dethrones." Moving on to the second level, Owen would tweet out, "The second level is a floating world. Japan has essentially been under nefarious Illuminati-esque control for some time. Nintendo began as a company that made cards that some used for divination. This floating world symbolism must be viewed in that context. Games are this new world." He then begins to talk about the owl that Mario would meet. In this level, Mario meets an owl. The owl instructs you to look into his shadow. Owl is probably the most classic secret society symbol. The owl is on dollar bills and DC layout associated with Athena, etc. Continuing on with the owl, this owl drops you onto a caged island. You must consider that groups like Skull and Bones do ritual magic with each other. Of course, they would think millions of people enacting these archetypal and specific situations affect their psyche in something collective or something collective. Then moving on to the third level, Owen types out, "In Freemasonry rituals, they will put you into a coffin and have you enact your own death." In the next level, Mario descends into a sunken pirate ship, descending into the depth of the water and coming back up again. Pirates, quote unquote, as a theme is also symbolic. The next few posts don't have any images attached, but that doesn't stop Owen from continuing to speak about the pirate ship. And to start with the Knights Templar are one link in the chain of secret societies according to their own mythology. After the Knights Templar were forced to go underground, their navy went underground as well and re-emerged as the suddenly ubiquitous Fox Road pirate ships. He then moves on to the pirate ship flag. The pirate ship flag with the skull and bones is actually the skull of Jacques de Molay and his 2 thigh bones that the other knights failed to find when they came to collect his bones after his execution. This is one reason why pirate stuff is pushed by Hollywood so hard. Talking about games and pirate levels, Owen says games like this will often feature a pirate level for this reason, as an allusion to this. It is also forcing you to perform a mock baptism of yourself in digital water. Mario never starts in water in any of these water levels. He submerges himself every time. Moving on. With an image attached, Owen then moves on to the next level. Next up is the Snow Mountain level. Just going to cut to the chase. The elite use certain concepts like the popular idea of Antarctica to delude people and keep them in the dark about reality. Antarctica is not what most people think. Things like this are mocking you, basically. He talks about a snowman that loses his head, saying, "There's a star where a snowman loses his head. The main Mystery Babylon dark religion myth is that of Osiris, mainly him being dismembered and Isis questing for his body parts. You will often see allusions to this theme in rituals. Obelisks are the missing phallus of Osiris." He then summarizes what he has already talked about. So far, we have been through the Grand Hall, climbed a mountain and killed a king, an owl dropped us into a cage, we were submerged in water, and we found a silver head and rebuilt a body. After this, Mario descends into the basement for the next part of the ritual. The next day, he continues with his next post being, Mario proceeds down a long hallway into a courtyard. This is Mario moving into a special niche altar, usually located in a centered cardinal direction set aside from the main temple. He is in the shadow behind the castle, and in the center of this courtyard is this sculpture, and proceeds to show us two photos. Continuing on with the courtyard, and especially the sculpture, Owen tweets, inside a small baptismal fountain, which has 8 sides, is a star on top of a pyramid that's missing its top. Pyramid with missing capstone is another Masonic symbol, i.e. on the dollar and on certain buildings. He then shows us 2 in-game photos and then 1 image of a dollar and 1 real-life photo. Now let's go back to the missing phallus of Osiris. His next post reads as follows. The missing capstone is the missing phallus of Osiris. Mentioned this before, but when Osiris was killed and dismembered, caught by his brother, his wife had to go find all his parts. She couldn't find the phallus, and instead crafted one of gold so she could remake him. Obelisk is in Mystery Babylon Masonic symbolism. The missing capstone is also the missing piece, quote-unquote. The lost quote-unquote word of Freemasonry. When Isis finds this piece, she can conceive her son Horus from the newly made Osiris. Anyway. Owen turns back to the game and focuses on the plaque by saying, on this plaque it says something. Most people think it says L is real. Plus, then the number. I wouldn't really believe this, but apparently some guy wrote a letter to Nintendo, and the letter calls it the L is real message, but says it's just a meaningless joke they put in for no reason. He continues his next tweet with, L is real. That's interesting. What could the number be? These groups often use a different dating system. CAL, literally Anno Lucas, in the pic. Honestly, wouldn't normally speculate on something like this, but thought the letter was interesting if real. He then continues on to the next level. In this level, Mario descends into the world of the dead, Boo's Mansion. In these secret society rituals I am discussing, you are killed in some symbolic way, often locked in a coffin or something, and then you are reborn newly as a member of the organization or initiated group. Owen moves on to the next level with Big Eyes, known as the Eye-to-Eye in the Secret Room, the 6th mission of Big Boo's Hunt, saying, in this level there are enemies that are big eyes that watch you. There is also this boss who is a giant eye. To kill him, you have to let him watch you. and then circumambulate him. Circumambulation, walking around something, is a pagan form of worship. Owen explains, in this level you also have to run underneath these coffins right after circling the giant eye, which you can see in the video right here. In Groot's like stolen bones, you're locked into a coffin. He then moves onto the lowest point of the castle in Super Mario 64. Now, Mario descends to the lowest point in the castle. He heads far down and walks through a hall with these torch lights. This is a processional subterranean hall. There are pools of water and more Masonic checkerboard flooring. This painting hangs at the end of the hall. Owen talks about the painting. We're not going into this level yet, but you have to pass this painting to get where you're going. Who is this? It's not Bowser, and this enemy doesn't exist on this level or anywhere in the game. Guess it's just a random fire demon or something they made up for no reason. He talks about the other place you are allowed to go to before entering the next level. The other place you can go before getting into the next level is another small hall that leads you into a small room with two pillars just sitting here. In the game, you hit these pillars. These are the twin pillars Boaz and Jahin from Solomon's Temple, used in all occult stuff. Even the game calls them the pillars. Finally, moving on to the next level. The next level is a cave. Mario was just in Death World, now he's going into this cave. Another classically symbolic and archetypal place fitting the death and rebirth theme of this stage. To enter this level, you immerse yourself in this pool. What is this liquid? With a GIF attached, Owen tweets out, "This is the same hyper-smooth, hyper-fluid, metallic texture we see on Mario when he gets the metal cap. It's not metal like steel, it's almost like liquid metal. This is Quicksilver, otherwise known as Mercury. When Mario gets the metal cap, he literally becomes the alchemical Mercury. Continuing with the metal, this is obviously the metal that Mario is based on. It's pretty counterintuitive to use Quicksilver for a metal character like this because it possesses none of the qualities that we associate with metal. It's liquid, soft, malleable. It only makes sense in this symbolic context. Owen then begins to talk about Mario's cap. When Mario gets the red cap, he becomes the mythological Mercury. For a long time, people knew that they were looking at an image of Mercury or Hermes. Obvious. He then dives into Nintendo and specific rules. Nintendo actually has very specific rules about including religious imagery in games. Pagan stuff in the Roman sense is specifically allowed, and they break these rules for certain games like Zelda. This is interesting, but don't want to detour too hard into this at this time. Then we move on to Mercury. Why Mercury? Mercury is the pagan god and Kabbalistic occult or occult force or energy that is all about navigating between the realms or traveling between worlds. He can go below into the subterranean layers and up into the celestial realms. He is messenger of the gods. With an attached image, this doesn't necessarily mean these people even believe in a god called Mercury. In most occult work, it is much more loose, quote unquote, and concepts like this are used as energetic and informational anchors. For example, you can see Mercury on this Tree of Life chart. It's number 8. The precedent for using a quote-unquote game like this as a dramatic ritual is extremely well documented. For example, in Golden Dawn style magic, which informs basically all modern cult work in some way. They play Rosicrucian chess or Enochian chess, which is half game, half ritual magic. Books like Liber Null and Psychonaut discussing using technology and ritual magic, plus these ideas are just a crystallization of occult concepts that have existed in the quote-unquote dark arts for a long time. In the above pic, Yeat's wife says the game was used to initiate her. That was the last century. Continuing behind the Quicksilver Gate, Owen picks back up the game and continues to talk about similarities. The level behind the Quicksilver Gate is called Haze Maze Cave. It's a subterranean labyrinth. The doors have a single large eye on them, which you can see in this picture. Part of the labyrinth is full of a yellow smoke that chokes Mario. What is this smoke? This choking fog is sulfur. Sulfur is this yellow color and releases this toxic yellow hazy smoke. Brimstone, as in fire and brimstone, is an archaic word for sulfur. Sulfur has always been associated with the devil and hell. Continuing with sulfur, smoke, and sulfur. You will also notice that the Leviathan cross, a satanic image somewhat now popular, is actually the alchemic symbol for sulfur. Sulfur is also symbolic in alchemy as one of the three primes, one of three substances all things are composed of. Sulfur is the quote-unquote spirit, but more accurately, it is the omnipresent spirit of life, an omnipresent potentiality present in the universe. Moving on to Toad in Super Mario 64. In encoded images, both literary and artistic, the mushroom was used as a symbol of this omnipresent spirit of life as they seem to arise from nothing. This is what Toad is. The race of mushroom men is symbolic of this super physical power. You gather these mushrooms in the castle. In this level, you also ride this creature. They make you ride a beast. The beast circles a small island. Now, remember that painting that you had to get past to get to the next level that I was talking about earlier, or Owen was talking about earlier? Let's go back to that. Next up, we have this lava level behind this devil painting. Obviously, hell. Note the eye enemy as well. He also fights these uniquely double-horned enemies here, and has to throw himself into a volcano. Ritual symbolic death in the underworld. Talking about the same level, this level also has an image of Bowser's face being cut up, plus rearranged that Mario is forced to walk over. This is classic MK Ultra style imagery. Split phase, fractured phase, and body imagery indicate breakdown of the psyche, exactly what is happening at this stage of the ritual. In Shifting Sandland, this level involves a large pyramid, and it is the 8th course in the game. And Owen would mention this level by saying, next level, the last real chthonic subterranean death level, is this desert. The desert in Western Occult is the abyss that the adept must cross. It is like the chasm of death. In Occult Kabbalah, the path connecting, I'm not gonna say it, and this is Jimel, a camel, crossing this abyss. Continuing on by, you can see in this screenshot that the pyramid is surrounded by 4 pillars, and there are also black cubes outside. The pyramid has a star in the top, so there is a light in the capstone of this pyramid. He proceeds to talk more about this level, saying, in this stage Mario removes the capstone of the pyramid and goes inside. In the elite mythology about themselves, teachers like Plato and Pythagoras went to the pyramids and were initiated inside into ancient mystery religions. This is part of why they use Egyptian symbolism. Going inside the pyramid, Mario confronts another all-seeing eye boss. This time the eye is in the center of a giant's hand. This is the last real subterranean level after the underground labyrinth and hell. Mario crosses the desert and goes into the pyramid, place of initiation. Moving on to the last level. Last level before Mario goes into the higher level of the castle is Dire Dire Docks. If you remember this level, it's kind of weird in that you start floating in the air, plus are dropped into the water, and the level is really oddly designed so you have to swim under and come up elsewhere. And that is the literal point of this level. That's also why it comes after all these other levels despite appearing earlier on the map. You've done the death-based ritual initiation downstairs, and now you wash yourself clean of it. A kind of baptism to cement this. The entrance is a water wall. This is where we go from the very bottom of the castle, and we are now going to the top of the castle. Now Mario goes up into the higher levels of the castle. These levels are all much higher. These levels are all much lighter and brighter than the levels that we have just seen. The game itself has the classic pagan, shamanic, platonic threefold world structure of celestial realm above, earth, and then underworld below. Now, to get to the next level, the first level after you access this new part of the castle, after you've left the symbolic death below, you are forced to look into this mirror and observe for the first time the camera that has apparently been watching you the whole time. We all know this guy, Lakitu. He's Mario's camera operator, in case you didn't know for some reason. This guy is introduced for a second when the game starts, but this is the first time you see him during gameplay, and the game forces you to notice and passively interact with him. This is breaking the fourth wall and reminding the player that they are being observed. And back to the ritual about how Lakitu could be in all of this. A dramatic ritual does not require observers, but these people believe that the effects can be greatly enhanced when others are involved, even passively as observers. This is the power they seek to harness by encoding these things into media and have millions partake of them. Entering this level requires Mario to essentially trust the unseen and to jump directly into this wall, which he can only see the painting in the mirror. Mario is now an initiate and will be privy to secrets, occult powers, hidden machinations, etc. Owen then stops here and says that he has to mention a few things that are just too controversial for him to put in this thread. He starts asking questions like, does Mario circumambulate anything else? What is it? Does Mario get quote-unquote powers in these levels? What are they? Are there other powers in this game? Where else do you see these occult powers? Like, not in the game. You see them elsewhere. Later level has a monkey at the top of the mountain. What does the monkey represent in the modern social consciousness? As in, what do most people think of when they think of a monkey? How does this hook into what we've discussed here? There's the flood level, where you're forced to flood and unflood a city, and a rainbow level, where the whole level is a giant rainbow. The last level also requires you to ride this rainbow through a floating building that has some Masonic floor, a table covered in pentacle coins, and a small furnace. What is this room? And after these questions, he then moves on to Yoshi. Lastly, spoiler if you have never finished the game, the last thing you do is meet Yoshi on the roof of the castle. Many have correctly pointed out that Yoshi's like a dragon and is serpentine. This is true, but consider that Yoshi is specifically not a dragon, he is a dinosaur. Continuing on, similar to the monkey, ask yourself, what do dinosaurs represent in the popular consciousness and how they fit into the themes here. Specifically, if you think about how it relates to the floating island idea presented above and other things, you might see what I'm saying. And that is going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure to leave a like. And if I earned your subscription, make sure to subscribe. But before you go, thank you guys for 100 subscribers. That is insane, bro. Thank you guys so much. We hit the goal of 100 before August. You guys just blow these goals out of the water. It's insane. If you haven't been keeping up with the channel, then you might be surprised that there is a whole trailer on the channel. Yeah, we hit 100 subscribers, and I promised the community that I would do something special. And that was the surprise for hitting 100 subscribers. Seriously, guys, I can't thank you guys enough. 100 subscribers. We finally hit the triple digits. Now it's time to see if we can hit 200 subscribers. It's a long way. It's a very long way. But I have faith. And I know I just came back from a break, pretty much. But I have faith in you guys, especially now that we hit 100. And I know we can hit 100 again. We are already at 108 subscribers. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Now we'll catch you guys in my next video.